Welcome to the Steelers by the Lake podcast. My name is James Strong, joined once again by my co-host Cody Tanner. Cody, how you doing this fine Friday evening?
James, I'm doing just fantastic. How are you doing, James?
Doing all right, buddy. Doing all right. We're getting a little bit closer, to Sunday. The Steelers football. We got the goat fuel today.
Ooh.
That is my sugar-free choice. Went and visited my fine friends over at Vitamin Shop, and they said, try this one out. This pineapple cream soda is the bomb, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't mind it.
I'm working with the Mountain Dew Game Fuel Citrus Cherry, brought to me by my girlfriend. She brought this for me. Halo Infinite, Xbox, 2 points. I don't know. You get stuff for doing stuff. I don't know. I haven't been on the Xbox grind in quite some time. So PlayStation and PC all the way. With that being said, let's talk about some stuff. We got Steelers by the Lake news per usual, because it's a month in review kind of thing. So we're going to talk about the top downloaded countries and top downloaded states. You guys are one of them if you're listening or watching. So James, you want me to do countries? Maybe. I mean, if you're watching from outer space, that's technically neither. But yeah,
you do countries, I'll do states.
I'll do countries. So number one, to no surprise, no avail, United States of America. Number one, thank you. Just kind of expected it. Number two, the United Kingdom. I want to know who these people are. I want to know where you're coming from and what brought you into Steelers Nation, a Steelers fan that, you know, brings you here, and how you found us, stuff like that. I'd love to know those things. And tied for number three, James, ready for this one?
I'm very ready.
Are you ready? Hong Kong and Indonesia tied for number three, which that's not Hong Kong isn't a country, so I don't know why it says, but it comes up that whatever.
It comes up that way. Yeah.
We'll take it.
Also, the UK was a 50-50 split, half those downloads from England, half of them from Scotland.
Ooh.
So that's pretty neat in my book. Also pretty neat, we have a new state, number one from the United States. Top state this last month was Iowa. A big love coming out of Iowa country over there. So appreciate every single one of you. Number two, the normal number one, Pennsylvania. Number three, Cody's old hometown of Texas. Number four, Nebraska. Also not normally in our top five. And then number five, bringing up the rear, Ohio. So appreciate all you new listeners. There's a bunch of stuff going on in some states we don't normally hear from in the top five. So welcome to the madness. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, super exciting. Let's take a look now at Steelers news. So we do have some. Steelers did sign a wide receiver, Jacob Copeland, to the practice squad, and then they also released safety Jalen Elliott. Now, James, me and you talked about this 2 days ago, Wednesday, on our Pro Sports Fans live show. That kind of is a good sign, leading to maybe the possible return of Minka Fitzpatrick to gameplay. So super exciting for that. We'll get to that a little bit later when we talk about injuries. We also have some Hall of Fame semifinalist news. So both James Harrison and Hines Ward were nominated to the semifinals. So that is super exciting. A little stressful. 8 times. This is the 8th time for Hines Ward.
Correct.
So that's sad and cool at the same time. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that. Like, it's not a good thing to be there 8 times.
It's an honor to be a semifinalist. When it's 8 years in a row and not once being a finalist, you're starting to wonder, will he ever break into that role of being a finalist? So semifinalists, there's 25 total. So they whittle it from 25 down to 10 when you get your finalists. And Hines hasn't made that leap yet. Now, part of the problem is, of these 25 finalists, 7 of them are wide receivers. So you've got a huge bottleneck at the wide receiver position. Even when it comes down to the finalists, I expect we'll probably see at least 3 wide receivers in the group. And then usually the vote is split between them. None of the wide receivers get in, and the bottleneck just gets worse because somebody else becomes available.
Yep.
So all we can really hope is that if Hines Ward does not get in, that one of these other wide receivers does, and it creates room for him to possibly move up the ladder and become one of the finalists next year. Not saying that he's not going to get it. I'm just saying the track record is it's the same exact group of wide receivers basically that he went against previous years and did not get voted into the finalist position over these same wide receivers. So I don't expect it this year either. But I do think that James Harrison has a better chance, unfortunately, than Hines Ward does. When you look at his resume, it's just a little bit more powerful. That Defensive Player of the Year really does carry a lot of weight. And he had one more Pro Bowl appearance than Hines Ward did. Also was in the same Super Bowls. So that part of the resume is the same, although Hines has the Super Bowl MVP that James Harrison does not. Although
Harrison
you could probably argue that he might have
the greatest play in Super Bowl history.
He does, yes. Yes, he does. And that's like the thing that you put in his corner on it. So I think it's a slightly stronger resume for James Harrison.
Yep.
But at that, still you don't see a lot of guys going to the Hall of Fame with only 5 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
So it's still difficult when it becomes a numbers game of how many times did you get to the Pro Bowl? How many times were you an All-Pro? And they just don't have enough of them. If Harrison would have started a couple years earlier in his career, then he probably would have ended up with 6 or 7 Pro Bowls. But he wasn't a starter until he was like 29 years old, and that really makes it difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully they both go. That'd be fantastic. Might have to make a trip to Canton for that one.
Yeah, I would.
With that being said, the Steelers also finally have an official date for their Colts game later in the year, and that will be on Saturday, December 23rd at 4:30 p.m. Very interesting time for a game to happen. Gonna have to request off work for that one.
Oh yeah, just see if you can open, man. If you can.
No, you know what I'm going to see? I'm just going to see if I can get off work that day and, I can leave early in the morning, travel to Pennsylvania to be with my family and maybe a little James Strong for a football game. So
there we go, buddy.
We'll see.
Make it happen.
We'll see what happens. I'll do my best for sure. Now it's time to talk. We're going to look ahead to this Cardinals game. Week 12 Cardinals in Pittsburgh. Cardinals are coming here. Pittsburgh West is heading to Pittsburgh. East, if you want to call it. I don't know. It's just Pittsburgh. So we have a full list of injuries here. I'm going to just go down the list here for a second. Nobody is actually listed out for us. We only have one person listed as questionable, and that is Montravius Adams with an ankle injury. He fully participated early in the week and then was limited today. Kenny Pickett, dealing with an ankle injury, was full participation the entire week. Expect him to go. Allen Robinson was resting and had a foot injury. Didn't participate early in the week, but practiced the second half of the week, no problem. Full participation. Calvin Austin, the third, ankle injury, didn't participate and then went to limited and then went to full participation. I expect him to play. Patrick Peterson was not injury related, just resting. And then Minkah Fitzpatrick with the hamstring injury, full participation all week. Expect him to be a go. Super excited for that. On top of that, you have Isaac Seumalo, not injury related, resting. He didn't participate early, but he was not even listed later on. Cam Hayward, dealing with the groin injury, didn't participate Wednesday or Thursday, but was a full go on Friday. So
that's different. They've been going limited all.
Yep.
So full rest 2 days and then a full participant Friday. That might be a step in the right direction.
Yep. Or wrong direction, depending, I guess. Who knows? The fact that it's full is good. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Deontay Johnson dealt with an illness throughout the week. He didn't participate on Thursday, but he was full today, so he should be a go. And then you have James Pierre with a shoulder injury. Didn't participate in the middle of the week, limited today. It's not like he gets a ton of playing time outside of special teams. Potentially a chance for a different gunner to be on the field. So
Montravius Adams being questionable, the only for sure for Pittsburgh, but it looks like everybody else is healthy enough to go, which is absolutely tremendous. Not the same can be said for the Arizona Cardinals. It's quite the laundry list here, and a lot of key players. First one up, Marquise Hollywood Brown got a heel injury, did not participate in practice all week long, not even limited. He is questionable for the game. Man, if he couldn't practice all week long, not even limited, I would think he probably won't play.
Yep.
Cornerback Antonio Hamilton has a groin injury and is out. Didn't practice all week, officially declared out. Tight end Trey McBride also has a groin injury. was limited both Thursday and Friday, didn't participate Wednesday. He is questionable, but with a groin, man, that's tough. So you got a chance he might not play. Starling Thomas the fifth, also a cornerback, has an ankle injury, and he is also out. Didn't practice all week long. Jalen Thompson, the free safety with a rib injury, was a do not practice Wednesday, limited Thursday and Friday. He is questionable. So now we're talking one safety, two corners.
Yep.
Wide receiver Michael Wilson with a shoulder didn't participate all week long and is out. That's two wide receivers now for them. Safety Joey Blunt with a knee injury, limited all questionable. Don't know how bad that knee is, but that's two safeties now for them. Defensive tackle Kevin Strong has a knee injury, limited all week long. Us Strong's known to have bad knees. Hopefully his are better than mine. Carson Strong didn't even get into the league because of his knees. Questionable is his current status. I'd love to see him play just because he's a Strong. Clearly not related, but anyway. Elijah Wilkinson, the offensive tackle with a neck injury, limited all week long and is out. He will not be playing versus Pittsburgh. Zach Pascal, a wide receiver, not injury related, personally missed some time. They're actually calling him questionable.
Yeah, something going on
with something personal going on. So, if you're a praying person, pray for Zach Pascal. I know he's on the other team, but if there's something going on personal that's bad enough for him to possibly not play, he could probably use some prayer.
Yep, 100%. And just while you were going through that list, James, I was over here looking at their roster.
How many of them are starters?
Half, at least half, if not more. Marquise Brown starting wide receiver listed is out. Trey McBride starting tight end. Michael Wilson, a starting wide receiver. And then you go on the defensive side of the ball. You said Kevin Strong, their starting nose tackle. You said Garrett.
Looks like the number 3 and 4 corner, and then one starting safeties.
Yep. So it's a lot of key pieces that they're going to be missing, or they're going to be potentially playing not 100%. It's going to make an impact on this game. You have to imagine that it will. So I'm curious to see what happens with this moving forward this week. I wonder if this is the week that, maybe maybe Kenny Pickett goes off, has a big game in the passing yards category. Not sure. Super excited to see what happens, though.
I wonder if that'll be one of our keys to success. Let's talk about the depth chart of the Arizona Cardinals here. Starting at the quarterback position, Kyler Murray has been back for a couple of weeks now, had that ACL injury last year, missed a good portion of the first half of this season. Hasn't been fantastic yet since he's returned. So interesting to see what happens there. Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore, and Michael Wilson, the starting wide receivers. So we might see some of those backups with the injuries going on to some of those guys. Tight end Trey McBride is the starter. So Jeff Swain, your next man up. And Elijah Higgins, the backup to Jeff Swain. So might see all three of those tight ends, or maybe even the back two, if Trey McBride's not able to go. Running back, you might have heard of him before, James Conner. Healthy. He missed some time this season, but he's healthy now. Amari DeMarcado and Michael Carter are his backup. So could be a little bit of a rotation. What I noticed in previous games, it looked like they're kind of playing multiple guys, not going just one. Offensive line, left tackle is DJ Humphries. Left guard, Carter O'Donnell. Center, Hajalti Froholt. Right guard, Will Hernandez. And right tackle, Paris Johnson Jr., who would be that rookie out of Ohio State. The same class here as Broderick Jones. So an interesting group. My understanding is that the offensive line has really struggled in pass protection this year. So that could bode well.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Excited for James Conner to come. James Conner's coming home. He has a home game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically.
It's going to be really special for him to be back in Pittsburgh and be close to his hometown. So I'm excited to see. I kind of want him to have a good game, but like sneaky good. Like,
yeah, no touchdowns.
No touchdowns, or it's either no touchdowns or not a lot of yards. Like you can. I don't care if he scores 3 touchdowns as long as we scored like 6. You know what I mean? Like I want him to have a sneaky good game and them still lose. But looking at the defensive side of the ball here, Their two defensive ends, Dante Stills and Jonathan Lebetter, are going to be the guys anchoring that defensive side of the ball. Kevin Strong, obviously, out. We talked about that. Roy Lopez is the backup nose tackle. And then they run a 3-4, just like Pittsburgh. So you look at the outside linebackers here. Dennis Gardick and Zaven Collins are the outside guys. Chris Barnes and Josh Woods, the inside guys. Really, the only area of their entire team that's not dealing with an injury is that linebacking core. So curious to see what kind of strength comes from that. You're looking at it. You're thinking something. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that Kaiser White is a starter and he's out for the year at linebacker.
Fair.
And
I didn't even think about him.
Yeah.
Because he's not listed.
He's not listed because he's on the injured reserve. So that's one of those things that's easy for us to miss. And I didn't even realize it until right now. So yeah, it's backups, at least at Kaiser White's position.
Yeah. So at least they've been together and operating for a little bit longer, maybe than the other guys have. Keltrell Clark, the starting cornerback. Cottrell. There's an Cottrell. Clark, starting corner. He does have. He's the rookie out of Louisville. No stats on the year as far as sacks, forced fumbles, and receptions, but he is getting the start. Garrett Williams, the other corner on the other side, I believe, was he on the injury list? I don't remember.
No, the other two were Hamilton and Sterling Thomas both were.
But ironically enough, Garrett Williams, another rookie out of Syracuse. Two rookies at starting cornerback.
Wow.
Have to imagine that Pittsburgh's going to be taking shots, especially with the two guys that have playing time behind them injured and more than likely not playing. Jalen Thompson, again, that starting safety's out. You're gonna see Andre Chachir, the backup, coming in. Andre Chachir is 3 years out of San Jose State, 12 tackles on the year. That's about it. Nothing crazy there. That one I'm kind of worried about. Sneaky, like one of those guys you just don't know what to expect from. He's been in the league. He's not gonna be, overwhelmed by the atmosphere or anything like that. Maybe he will when they play Renegade, but that's beside the point. Budda Baker is their really main key piece on defense. Budda Baker, it's ironically enough, no real major stats for him listed this year. No interceptions, forced fumbles, or sacks. Not that he's a super blitzing safety, but defense is still capable here. It's just a lot of no names. It's a lot of people that you don't know much about. So I don't want to talk
two guys that washed out too.
Yeah. But the big thing is that
Zaven Collins was supposed to be a stud middle linebacker, and now he's playing outside linebacker for him. And I understand he's in the 4th year of his rookie contract and definitely not getting the 5th year picked up. Yep. They were unable to find a good home for him.
Yeah.
Budda Baker's the one I worry about. He's a stud, but it sounds like he's probably got to cover up a lot of ground for a lot of guys that are a little lesser talent. Special teams, let's cover these guys real quick. Kicker Matt Prater, punter Blake Gillikin, if that name sounds familiar. He's a former Penn State Nittany Lion. Long snapper Aaron Brewer. Holder is also Blake Gillikin, the punter. Kick returner and punt returner Greg Dortch doing double duty for them. So that is the roundup of their special teams group.
Yep, that's going to be it. As far as kick returns for him this year, no major returns, no big touchdowns or anything like that. So he's had 3 returns longer than 20 yards, 2 punt returns longer than 20 yards, but nothing too crazy on the kick return game there. Special teams does matter. Hopefully we can get some good special teams from our guys. Just super excited to see what we put together this week. You obviously saw last week was the first time we put over 400 yards in a game. Is it a trend that continues going, especially against 2 rookie corners that are getting the start? I'm just curious to see how this game goes. James, it's that time. It's the time again to talk about the 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 keys to success against for defeating the Arizona Cardinals. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to?
I'll get mine out of the way and then second.
Okay.
First key for me is going to be Kenny Pickett over 300 yards. That's it. We haven't seen 300 yards for him yet this season. I think this secondary is a little bit banged up, and I'm not too scared of their pass rush either. So this is the time to really put it all together and get over 300 yards for Mr. Pickett this week. Key number 2 kind of ties into that. I'm looking for a Pat Freiermuth touchdown this week. He had an awesome game last week. Actually led the NFL last week in receiving yards with 120 on that 9-catch performance. Good enough to get him as one of the players of the week in Madden. Didn't know if you knew that or not. Number 3, I want to see 2 sacks from the defensive linemen. This is excluding outside linebackers, middle linebackers, blitzing defensive backs, any of that. So I'm talking just Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, Larry Ogunjobi, Devin Leal, that crew, right? If Isaiah Loudermilk or Armon Watts gets one, fantastic. You get the idea. The big boys, the 290-pound plus cats in the middle of that defensive line. I want to see at least 2 sacks from them.
Interesting. Okay. There's your 3 keys to the 6. Mine this week are going to be kind of similar in the sense that they're specific goals that I want Pittsburgh to reach.
Okay.
I'm going to go Kenny Pickett right off the bat, just like you did. I want 3 touchdowns out of Kenny Pickett. I want him to take his 6 and add half of it already. You know what I mean? He's going to multiply it by 1.5 or a half times from where he's at. I'm having a stroke.
Spit it out.
But no, I mean, that's literally, I mean, he could throw for 3 touchdowns and he's already put up more production in one game than he has, quite frankly, in any other game this year. He hasn't done that. So I'm expecting 3 touchdown passes out of him. All 3 can go to Pat. I don't care. Just 3 touchdown passes for him. I want to also see either a new name get on the board for tie for interception leaders or somebody new take over. Right now we have DeMonte KZ and Levi Wallace tied for first with 2. I want someone to bump up there and get a second one to match them, or someone just to take over. I don't care if it's...
Is that key number 2?
That is key number 2. My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. New interception.
You just kind of kept on going.
Sorry. New interception leader. Whether it's tied for first or taking over, whether it's Joey Porter Jr. getting 1 or 2, whether it's Trenton Thompson, the new starting safety for us getting 1 or 2 this week. Just want someone else in that category. I'm sick and tired of seeing Levi Wallace's name right there. I want to get gone. And then number 3, James, I'm going back to one I used last week. It's a specific goal, but it's not a specific number. I want to be holding possession of the time of possession. I want to hold the ball more than they have the ball. I want to control the game. I want to get first downs. You can even add on as a 4th key for me is just like last week. No 3 and outs. Not a single 3 and out would be fantastic for this week again. So those are my 3 keys to success.
Awesome.
Sweet. Any final thoughts on the game, man? We will be live, so we will be live streaming. We will not be showing the game on our screens, but we will be live streaming and discussing the game on the Pro Sports Fans app this week. We'll be live at 12:45 p.m. You guys can hop on there, join that, and follow us there, chat with us live while we're talking about the game, seeing what's going on. It'll be a very fun time. Drinks will probably be involved. And we may get rowdy, so we'll see what happens. You never know.
Crazier things have happened, so we expect some of you to join us. Don't make us be alone on this show.
Yeah, even if it's for a couple of minutes, hop in at halftime and let us know how you think of the first half. Just chat with us. Again, Pro Sports Fans app, you can find it on any mobile device. Download it, create your account. When you open it up, you'll find different sports. Just follow the Steelers. It'll take you to a Steelers chat. We are hosts in there. You'll see this live stream when it starts, and we'll be there. So we're excited for that. Again, can't thank you guys enough for watching or listening. And remember to like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Subscribe and ring the bell. It's free. Thank you to those 50 subscribers we have already. And until next time, this is your host, James and Cody, signing off.
Peace.